as a gym owner, you opened up a facility to, yes, make more impact and yes, make more income, but also have more personal freedom. So this means at some point you can't be doing the majority of sessions and be on the floor 30 hours every single week. At the same time, your longest term and most loyal clients may have a bias in that they only want to train with you. They may even feel betrayed when you reduce your hours on the floor. So how do we get you the freedom and the life that you really want while minimizing pushback from clients and not making people that have been very loyal to you very upset? Well, my goodness, this one is a sticky widget. But lucky for you, this is something I have a lot of experience with, not only personally, but supporting many clients over the years with. So today, we're gonna discuss just that. My name is Mark Fisher from Business for Unicorns, and if you like this video and you are interested in connecting with a like-minded community of fellow gym owners, many of which you have the same challenges like this one, well, you might wanna join the Unicorn Society, which in my very biased opinion, I think is one of the best coaching groups for brick and mortar gym owners looking to create more income, more impact, and more freedom. For more about the Unicorn Society, go ahead, click on the link in the description box below, or go to businessforunicorns.com/unicorn-society. Okay, so real talk. This is a very common challenge, and it's a particularly fraught challenge because invariably there are a lot of emotions involved, because there's no way to not acknowledge that your longest term, your most loyal clients are people that you feel an in debt to. And furthermore, based on where you're at in your business development, it costs money for you to get off the floor and have other people service the sessions. But remember, this isn't even just about your freedom. That's a large part of it. It's also about the opportunities you will be unable to give your team if you are trying to do everything and be everything to everybody. So in most situations, I like a training gym owner to be working no more than 10 to maybe 15 hours per week. And a lot of the people I work with at a certain point choose to go off the floor completely and spend their time and energy both focusing on their team and just enjoying more freedom in general. So how is it we make this transition? How do we do this while minimizing pushback? Well, it's a great question. I think there are 4 considerations here. I think the first one is you have to go into this expecting resistance. You gotta go into expecting resistance. People don't like change, even in the best of scenarios. So you have to know in advance, this is not gonna be everyone's favorite thing. Now, I don't want you to overweight it. A lot of people, frankly, the majority, aren't gonna care that much. I love you a lot. You're not like that special. Most of them are gonna be fine just to train with people you trust. But you gotta know going into this, you're gonna get pushback. That's the price of admission. That's okay. You'll be okay. But don't expect that there's any way you're gonna do this with no complaints. 2, the very real concerns that you should have and your client should have is if your team doesn't do a good job of consistently delivering on the same experience you're giving them. Now, the reality is they're not you. If somebody wants you and your life force, well, listen, you can't offer that. And maybe there's a world where you do continue to offer some services, but you charge it at a massive premium that's worth your while. I think that can actually be a pretty decent strategy based on your relationship with your business and how much you want to train. But overall, if your team is doing a good job of running the standard operating procedures and creating a very consistent experience with similar exercise coaching, similar program design standards, all the things that make you a business, in most situations, that's gonna be a fine thing to offer. Again, it's not to say that your clients will necessarily have no issue, or maybe they might still prefer you, but you can feel good about it, because I want to acknowledge the inverse is if you don't have SOPs, if you don't have a good team, if you haven't trained them well, I do think in that situation, you're a little bit more on the hook, because you're not saying, hey, I'm subbing out myself as the facilitator of this specific system with somebody else facilitating the system. You're saying, I'm just gonna have another trainer do something with you, and that ain't great. 3, I think a third consideration here to do this elegantly, you wanna pull back slowly over time, right? So in most situations, this probably doesn't need to be said out loud because you're gonna have to do it to some extent incrementally. But yes, if you go from being, doing, let's say 30 out of 40 hours of offered one week, and then the next week you're doing 10 out of 45 hours, people are gonna notice, right? So I do think this wants to be done as a controlled slippy as a rule. And the more you do it that way, the less pushback you're gonna get because you're doing it in a way that's incremental and it feels less drastic to your clients. The 4th point is expect to lose clients. I'm not talking about just sarcastic comments. This is me being real talk with you. In some situations, not always, but some situations, you're gonna lose clients, and you have to be willing to lose clients, because you have to be willing to acknowledge, just as you want what's best for you and you want them to want you to create the life that you're really passionate about living, you also want the same thing for your clients. And if your clients are gonna say, hey, I only wanna train with you, that's not an option anymore, and you have to be prepared. Some of them are not gonna train with you anymore, and that's their prerogative. Again, I don't wanna oversell this because the vast majority of times, they'd rather train in the same space they've been training with other people that they maybe already kind of know, doing the exact same programs, the exact same systems that you designed. So I don't think this is gonna happen a lot, but you've gotta be prepared for this. Again, let's name why this is so tough. It's because if you are at all susceptible to the evolutionary laws of reciprocity, these clients have been with you for a long time, have been very loyal, but you have an obligation. You have an obligation to the bigger impact you can make if the business isn't predicated purely on you. You have an obligation to your team to create more opportunities for them to grow, to develop as professionals, to make more income, and you have an obligation to yourself and to your family to have some free time so that you don't personally have to be the person that is always facilitating the vast majority of the sessions. Ultimately, your clients gotta do what they gotta do, but I'm very proud to say Mark Fisher Fitness has a number of clients that were truly personal training clients of mine before MFF was founded in 2011. So some of these people have been literally with me for almost 15 years at this point. More actually, and I frankly take a lot of pride in that, and my hope is that you will be able to get there too. So if and when you're ready to pull back on your hours and you're feeling some fear, watch this video maybe more than once. You are the only person that can advocate for the life you want to live, and if you got into this business to have not just income and impact but also freedom, this is your opportunity. And if you need help, I'd be happy to be with you there every step of the way. I'd invite you to go check out the Unicorn Society in the link below. I would love to tell you more about what we're doing. I think it's really every day feels like the services we're offering are getting better, and it's a really special thing going on with a special group of people I have a lot of affection for, like you. All right, pals, I'll see you next time for another video where I will share more actionable tips, psychological frameworks, and philosophy.